let's start our journey of 100 Days with Gouache. Hi guys, I am Kritika Ranath, an artist, instructor, mother Skillshare teacher and brand owner of Vibrant Parcels where we manufacture handmade sketchbook, artist rate paints and much more. 2024 marks the beginning of my journey in gouache. Gouache is something that I haven't been practicing for quite a few years now. And today is a painting that I'm going to do. It's a very small paper that I've taken, not even exactly 5 inch, maybe around 4 inch. That I have used for this painting. I've just marked out the horizon line, and horizon line basically helps me to divide the sky from the land area. Going with simple shades of blue and white, I am mixing it with some white while I go towards the bottom. You can use any kind of gouache. I am using the gouache that usually comes in these tub like small tins, or you can say these are small tubs of gouache, and they're not extra fine, but they're great to work with. It's from the brand, I guess, Himi. So I have around 56 colors which I am going to use. I don't have any particular color in mind, to be frank. I'm going ahead with a very simple and light shades of blue for showing the soft snow effect of the winters in the bottom area, as well as the winter skies are pretty clear sky that I want to show it off in this. Working through my entire part, all I can say is blending is a key in gouache. And secondly, if you're working with gouache, it's not important to go ahead with 100% cotton 300 gsm paper. You can go ahead with 185 gsm paper, or else you can also go ahead with cellulose paper. Cellulose paper will absorb the gouache a bit more quickly compared to 100% cotton paper, but that's absolutely okay because in gouache you can work on layers, and it is a very forgiving medium which helps you to explore the medium in a more I would say, in a way which is more like acrylic rather than it being watercolors. Watercolors, if you use the darker values initially, you may not go back to the lighter values, and you have to use any of the opaque white watercolors, which doesn't go well when we talk about the transparency of the watercolor. Whereas over here, when we are working with gouache, you can go ahead and use any kind of shade, color, etc. Work with white over it, and that's it. You are again working with any shade of yours. Darker, lighter value really doesn't matter. All I can say is a first initial wash is great, and on top of it, you can work around with another color. For me, gouache is something that I'm still exploring, and it's not that I am great with it or I have a complete idea of gouache. I'm still figuring out this medium to a great extent, and I am already taking up about 100-day challenge. This is one of the first 100 days. I would also show you the third of the 100-day very soon. I'm going ahead with easier landscape, which are more like my own positive zone, or you can say that I'm pretty strong with those in watercolors. Having said that, both the mediums are very different, and you need to explore them separately. Absolutely, they both are not joined to each other. Only one thing that is common is when you are working with the brushes, they will all wash with the one single medium, that is water. So water is common for gouache as a washing medium, as well as water is common for watercolors for washing medium. So overall, I would say this is somewhat like watercolors and in between acrylics. So you get more clarity once you start working out with this medium. It is less messy compared to acrylics, and the shades or the colors go away very easily, as you can wash it with water. In case you're creating any mess on the table, etc., it will go away very easily with water. Okay, great. I'm working in the bottom area, and now I'm going ahead with some brown. I'm using my smallest brush to make these lines. It is the darker value of brown that I have taken. I I'm not very much into the colors and the shades that I'm overall using at this moment. For me, creativity at this stage is very important, and I wanted to start my journey, mark my journey as it has started with gouache, and that's what was important for me. And hence, I guess at this stage, all I can say is experimenting is all I'm looking forward to with this medium. 3 days, yes, have gone, and you will see the third day. I'm very happy with the final result of the third day because it did turn out pretty well, and I'm very excited to walk along this journey with you guys. I hope you like it and you guys can also learn something out of it. As I'm exploring the medium, I will talk through more of all of it. Let the paper dry off. So for me, this is the Stratmom sketchbook. Now this is a watercolor sketchbook, and this is around 200 GSM that I have taken. As I've told you, you do not need a 100% cotton etc kind of sketchbook. You can go ahead with any sketchbook that's available with you and work around with it. Going ahead with some of my smaller lines here and there to mark the dry trees or dry small plants etc. I am using my brush. This is my zero brush. I have loaded this brush with the darker values, the ones that are closer to our eyesight. As I always say, as per the rule of perspective, they would be larger or longer. The ones that are far away from us, they will be smaller. That's it. You should keep in mind while you are going ahead and adding these lines to the bottom part of the snow area. I always like to sketch anything that I do. Now, this is something that I've learned over the years, that always do sketch your plants, do sketch your trees before you go ahead or paint over it. The whole of this particular video is 1.5x, so feel free to reduce the speed of the video wherever it is necessary. I will go ahead in a very random way. You can see that 7 minutes we did only take for working through the top part as well as the bottom part, whereas now what we are doing is branching out these branches. Now these branches of course is very important at this stage. You need a very steady hand, what I have understood. For branches, for trees, you should be going ahead with the most comfortable brand of brush that you have with yourself. I am going ahead with my silver velvet brush. Now this is another of the same line of silver velvet brushes. They are more stable, they are more to work with any kind of an acrylic or gouache medium compared to the ones that we have as black velvet, which are more softer and they are better to use when you are working with watercolors. So I guess this one is turned out pretty well, and I have to work on the other or the trees that are just closer to them. Load your brush with the darkest value and start adding the colors. Though I always go ahead with the same mindset that I have usually for watercolors, that is, use your lightest value first and then go ahead with the darkest value. Though you can always overwrite in gouache the lighter and the darker values, you will see in some of the spaces of the ground also I would be overriding the darker values, or I would be overriding the lighter with the darker or the darker with the lighter. Vice versa, it can be used, but try avoiding it on a larger space, as it might show up. I'm not sure about it always, so experimenting on a smaller paper is much easier compared to when you work through the bigger papers. Once I move to bigger paper, I would be in a better condition to tell you on the other parts of the journey in terms of what we should expect out of working with gouache more. Okay, going with the thinnest of the branches and then branching it out, smallest and the smallest part. You can see that the branching is very easy. It's just a bit of stability of your hand, and that's it. You don't need to worry much. It is not going to take you any time. I completed this whole of the painting within 20 minutes, and any gouache painting that you attempt on a 4 or 5 inch kind of a paper is not going to take you much time. Don't try to use 100% cotton paper. I think it's just a waste of paper and expensive resource which can be better used with watercolors. For this, any kind of paper is good to go, but do try to use papers that are not less than cellulose, because they might turn yellow, or if they are not of archival quality, then you might not be in a position to store them for a longer period of time. So going ahead with a good quality paper is also important. Having said that, of course, you have grades of paper that can be used, and all I'm telling you is to use not the best of the quality that's available in the market. Just like I always say, watercolor is the base, and for that, the paper is the most important part. Your transparency of watercolors is very important, and the transparency is only seen when you have good paper. You get more time to work on the paper, whereas over here it continuously dries up and you have to go on working in layers. Over in watercolors, yes, even if you work in layers, you usually do not go ahead and just allow the first layer to be completely taken over by the second layer. Usually, if we are even working layers, the first layer exists. On top of it, we add the second layer, and on second layer, we add the third layer, fourth, fifth, sixth, and that's how we keep on adding depth into our painting. Whereas over here, we may go ahead with the second layer, like the blues, which I am adding over here right now, but it's not to create a lot of depth in the painting. It's just to create some amount of beauty, as well as the shadows, intensity, depth, all of it. Having said, but in a way easier, I would say it is much more easier than watercolors is all I can say. You should explore it for yourself and discover it yourself rather than believing myself. Believe it, it is going to be a really easy medium to work with. Initially you might struggle. I struggled with 5 paintings of mine which were completely scrap, and then I got this and I got to understand what exactly I need to do. Adding some snow, it is the white snow. I am just splattering some whites, and then I will go ahead and add a big white dots on top of the tree area. If you are liking this video, do give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, watch my other videos too, and let me know whatever you are posting. I'm there on Instagram by the name watercolor.illustration.letter. I have more courses on gouache available on Skillshare, as well as you can get my courses on www.vibrantparcels.com. Now, this you may not be able to find on Vibrant Parcels as of now, but the courses that are there on Skillshare has a few of the gouache courses too. Let your paper dry off and then remove the tape at an angle. Do not fast forward the process of removing the tape. We do not want to screw up the entire painting. If you are working with cellulose paper, please try the washi tapes. Washi tapes are very important at this stage. It allows your paper to be as is and not use the carpenter tape that's always available in the market. Now it will give me clear, beautiful edges that I have been working or looking forward to. Absolutely. And then have a look at it. Oh my god, it looks so pretty. See you guys very soon in the next video.